Hi everyone, it's your favorite South Florida realtor coming at you again. Hey, today I had something super important to talk about, and I hope you'll stick with me. And thank you all that watched my older videos, and if you haven't, please do like, subscribe, and go ahead and watch this. I would immensely appreciate it. I wanted to talk about holistic healing, regeneration, and the quiet power of the human body. So lately, well, not even just lately, I have been sitting here with a thought that I can't shake. I will tell you that. What if the human body is more than capable of healing itself? We aren't really taught to believe that now, are we? No, not at all. So here we go. Recent research coming out of Japan mainly highly suggests, let's call it suggests, that they are able now to stimulate tooth regeneration. Why this sounds so amazing to me, and I'm super stoked about it, is that for many years now, I'm just going to share a personal story, is I've had super medical problems. I'm going to call it medical, not dental, with my teeth, because I don't actually believe in dental insurance. It should be medical. That's just, common sense as far as I'm concerned. They're located right here. Your brain is right here. Your heart is right here. So I would assume common sense would tell you enough said. Yeah. And when I read this, that it's actually really happening finally, because honestly, I've been, reading peer-reviewed papers for a long time, actually, watching it for far too long. It should be out there already. That suggests that we can regenerate ourselves. Now, they have certain techniques that I'm not going to go into because I'm not a medical professional and I don't want to get into all that sciencey stuff exactly at the moment. But for a long time, medicine has really just focused on what? Managing symptoms. Not healing, correct? Nah, not healing. And that approach saves lives. Sometimes. That is. And that just isn't really the full story. Newer fields like regenerative medicine, if you want to call it new, neuroplasticity, eugenics, don't go there. Just because the Nazis messed that up in people's head about eugenics, let's not go there. And no, that's not what we're talking about. And the gut-brain connection are quietly reshaping our whole understanding, as it should. They also suggest that the body is really not passive, which, if we all dig deep, or even on surface level, I think we can probably conclude that as well. Let's be honest. And it's more like responsive, adaptive, intelligent. Oh my goodness. These godly bodies are intelligent? Go figure. Go figure. Oh, and by the way, I'm super stuffed. I am in sunny South Florida, which is very sunny, but it is cold. Hence why I'm still bundled up today again. I know I really got super used to the great weather here. And when it gets a little cold, it gets so freezing. Anyways, that was just a little side pat there. And another thing I'm gonna apologize for, and please stick with me, is my camera bouncing around in this net. It's just, I can't help it right now. But I think this is important. So, like I said, please stick with me. The body super is self-repairing. Let's just face it. I know you know that. If you get a little scratch on your, let's just say your hand or your foot or something like that, the second it happens, you're like, oh, ouch. You probably don't really think much about it afterwards if, you know, it's not like a huge gash or you have to go to the hospital or something to get stitched up. But even if so, if you go get it stitched up, it's going to regenerate and heal itself, correct? Yeah, it just does. That's what our bodies were made to do, repair. I know this little, I'm going to call it a sea creature that every little kid thinks is adorable, which I do as well, Oxalotl. You literally can like cut anything off on it and it grows back, which is the same for a lot of things. Like little crab, you can pull its leg off, it grows back. And they're like bottom dwellers creatures. So, yeah, think about that. And if you don't think that the human body is far more capable than any of those two, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. We are constantly rebuilding and repairing ourselves. Constant. Like I said, the skin renews. That's just a given. And things might be incremental and cumulative, sure. But when the body feels safe and supported, repair becomes possible. I'm sorry, I know nobody wants to hear this, but mental health and the nervous system. Hello. Like I said, it's been such a dogma, mental health and things like that, for so long that almost nobody wants to hear about it. I understand why. Like, none of us want to say we have problems with our mental health, but honestly, I haven't met a human yet that doesn't. And that's not dogging on them. That's just the truth. We're sensitive, right? Yeah, we are. That's okay. We're human. It makes us special. But mental health isn't separate from your physical health. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's really not. And I mean, honestly, your mental health is your control center. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, chronic stress. If your body's always put in constant survival mode, which I think that a lot of us are. Now, I'm always going to say, I'm going to start with this unless I specifically say that I'm talking about any other country or anything else like that. No, I'm not. I'm talking specifically about Americans and American situation in America. Because other cultures, like I said before, if you watch any of my other videos, if you haven't, please go do so, like and subscribe. Thank you. I'm going to keep saying that because I do. I feel like it's important that we all get together and we talk about stuff. But I'm just saying it again. I'm talking about Americans and American situation. If you're always put in constant survival mode, and a lot of us actually didn't even feel like we grew up that way, but now we are, guess what rises first? Inflammation. Inflammation is one of the worst things that could occur in your body that impedes any kind of healing. Any of your natural healing that could happen. You know, those healing sources that don't even need you to think about it constantly. Inflammation messes with that big time. Because then your body has to try and get rid of the inflammation before it can even start the true healing. That's hard. I mean, it has to redirect all of its energy there. I mean, another common sense thing, like I was trying to say before, common sense. Without oversharing, like I said before, I've had dental issues a lot of them, like in the last 10 years in particular. And stress from that, of course, lives in my body big time. And so it makes it harder to heal. So I'm super happy that this regenerative medicine is going to come out, but for me, unfortunately, I had to replace all my teeth, each individually. Yeah, implants, each single one. I'm on the last couple, so thank God. And thank God that we even have the technology to do that, because a few hundred years ago, what, they shoved wooden teeth into there or nothing, or maybe you would have died. You probably would have died from the infection alone. So we won't even go that far. But like I said, thank God this is finally like gonna happen for people for so many reasons, far past, you know, the teeth, like I was saying. Everything, you know? I'm super stoked. So I'm not trying to be super dramatic either. I really am not. I'm actually very happy about it, and that's why I'm talking about it today. It was harder, literally, for me in labor with my last child, which I have 3, and so I know what labor feels like in delivery. And I had to have an anesthesiologist come in to make sure that my teeth would stop hurting, because that was killing me more than, yeah, being in labor. That's how important teeth are. And if you have never felt that kind of pain, oh, oof, thank God. I don't want anyone to feel that pain now, in the past, or ever again. So, moving on. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, this video or any other, I don't believe time is linear, it's cyclical, and so is your healing. It's a cumulative effect. And I know that after I had braces, there was an effect of, let's call it a multiplicity or matriculation outward. Because no, it wasn't a matter of not cleaning my teeth or anything like that. But when they removed them underneath the metal part that was affecting my teeth the whole time, you know, you couldn't clean underneath the metal, it's stuck on your tooth. They literally are black on that exact line where it goes. And ever since then, just got worse. So, you know, and then the cavities after that, I mean, you know, it's our diets too, American diets. Like I said, I'm not going to speak for any other country at this point. Sugar, all the bad things that we buy in the store that a lot of us, that's the only thing we can afford. I mean, there's a lot of people who can't afford the best fruits and vegetables and meats out there. They have to buy those box foods that are basically like, look at them, they're filled with like sugar and other kinds of bad things, chemicals. Ugh. Anyways, a lot of us were raised on it, and we wouldn't even be alive if we didn't eat it. So again, I can't, you know, it's not our parents' fault. And it made our population grow, because maybe we would have died from starvation, which I feel like a lot of us are almost going to do now because of the economy, but we won't go there. This is not the talk for that. But yeah, nutrition, rest, movement, connection, purpose. These pieces all work together. Belief, biology. Science acknowledges that placebo effect, if you want to call it that, belief alone can produce measurable biological changes. Like, for say, years ago, you know, they call it now the snake oil salesman, which we could probably call a lot of people that even more nowadays on a lot of things, but we won't go there either. They come to a little town, you know, you see it on TV, they play it out, you know, dramatically, and they try and sell some liquid or a pill or something, and the guy gets up from the wheelchair and he can walk after he's never walked before. So now everyone will probably say, oh, that never happened. That's not exactly true. It did happen. No, not all the time, of course. Of course it was fake a lot of the time, maybe even most of the time, but it does happen. And that happens for all kinds of things still today. Placebo effect. There's a reason for that. And sometimes the placebo effect is even just as high as the actual medication that somebody's going to take for that specific whatever it may be. So, I mean, I might call that the God effect. I'm not so sure. It's called belief. It's pretty powerful. And I believe that in today's society, that's a lot harder for us to deal with, especially like I'm saying in America, because we've been so far withdrawn from that, and especially in our school institutions, right? For the past, couple generations. And it only takes one generation to affect everything. So, yeah. The belief in God is gone, and belief in general, right? So that to me is a big, indicator of why these things don't work. Like why our own bodies can't just regenerate like they probably should, or why we can't live to, I don't know, however long we want. Something to think about. Yeah. It doesn't mean that I am suggesting that illness isn't real. Oh, it's super real. I do, however, though, believe that a lot of illness is brought on or pronounced by, like I said, that continual ability for us to feel like we're in survival mode because things are so fast and crazy in certain ways that are just not even good for us at all. So, I'm not trying to yell at the phone. I'm sorry. Or any of you. I just think it's super important that we really think about these things and have the discussion. But I do believe it's the future of healing, if you want to call it that. The past is the future, vice versa. Like I said, the discoveries like the tooth regeneration, which is like seriously we can prove it works. I don't know how long it's going to take them for to make it mainstream because, there's a lot of political reasons why not. Which gets really tiring. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of that. Yeah. It's also a mental mindset, shift, like I was saying. And it's just like we need to be in partnership with who we are, inside and out and all the way around and all that kind of good stuff. We need to get back to, what do they say, back to nature? Something to think about, right? So in closing, I won't take up any more of your time. I know it's precious, so is mine, but I did think it was important, and I do want to delve in further into this, so hopefully you'll subscribe, and follow me on this journey. I will bring up some more hard cold data soon, and hopefully I sparked your interest in it. Sorry I'm wobbling around and sniffing all over the place, but super cold and my nose is running and I don't have my little tripod thingy, so I'm bouncing around. Sorry about that. But I actually believe that our human body is not invincible, but dang it, near close. Yeah, I do. I really do. I've seen it in so many cases, and it has to do with that body-mind-God connection. And very remarkably intelligent, to say the least. Of course, healing's not guaranteed. No. But it's possible. It exists. Sometimes